Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for coming out tonight and to listen to all of us. And a special thank you to the Muskogee Patriot Town Hall for hosting this event. My name is Holly Rosser-Miller, and I am running to represent Ward 1, which is here in purple, for Muskogee City Council. And I'm going to take a few moments to talk to you a little bit about who I am before I address the questions put before us. I'm 39 years old. I'm married to Mike Miller, and we have a daughter. Her name is Annie. She's sitting right there on the front row. Unlike many here, I'm relatively new to Muskogee. I've only been an Okie from Muskogee for about 16 years. I grew up in Allen, Texas, which is 20 miles north of Dallas between Plano and McKinney. I graduated high school there in 1995, and then I moved to West Texas and attended Abilene Christian University, and at ACU I earned my degree in broadcast journalism. While in school, I started working as a television news reporter and producer, and I worked at the NBC affiliate in Abilene, and that's where I met my husband. We got married 1 week after I graduated, and we lived the first year of our marriage in Florida, where we also worked at the same TV station. But on New Year's Day in the year 2000, amidst all that Y2K madness, Mike and I decided that we wanted to move and live closer to our families. So we decided we both look for new jobs. And so Mike was looking at Oklahoma because he grew up here, and I, of course, was looking in Texas. And we decided that whoever gets a job first wins. Well, that wasn't much of a fair fight because he is 7 years older than me, as I like to remind him, and he had a lot more job experience. So Mike won. And he started working with the Cherokee Nation in April of 2000. We figured that I would likely end up working in Tulsa, and I did. And Mike said, well, we should live in Muskogee because it's halfway between Tahlequah and Tulsa, which we know is not quite true. So for the first 3 years, I commuted to Tulsa, and I worked at the TV Guide channel. I was an entertainment producer, which meant I got to watch TV all day long and then write about it, which was an awesome job. Well, in 2003, I finally figured out that Muskogee really isn't quite halfway, so I thought I need to get a gig closer to home. And I landed the job as the executive director at the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame in 2003. And it was when I took that job that I finally got involved really in the community, and I fell in love with Muskogee. A couple of years later, we decided to expand our family. I got my real estate license, and kind of the rest is history. For the past 11 years professionally, I've worked as a real estate agent at Interstate Properties downtown. And I've also volunteered for a number of organizations and boards like, the Muskogee Tourism Board, the Hall of Fame Board, of course, Habitat, Rotary Club, the Arts Council, the Muskogee Community Band, I play the flute, the Chamber, and I even served a quarter on the Muskogee Phoenix Editorial Board. So that's just a little bit about who I am and my history. One of the questions submitted to us was regarding downtown development and the improvement of downtown. And I would like to say that when we drove through Muskogee that first time in 2000, and I remember driving down Mulkey, like right in front of my office, I remember crying because Muskogee looked so sad and abandoned, the downtown area. And if you had told 23-year-old Holly that in 2016 she would still be living here and that she would work downtown, Holly would have cracked up. So the improvements that we've made since 2000 as an outsider moving in are breathtaking. We still have a lot of work to do, but I am really excited to see the growth and the revitalization. You can see it over in the Depot District of the Hall of Fame, the little theater going up, down Main Street, all the fun shops and places to eat, and the renovation of our beloved club lunch. So as a city councilor, I want to let you know that I will vote for projects that are in step with the vision of downtown revitalization. For every proposal that comes to me on council regarding downtown, the first question I'm going to ask is this, and that question is, do the contents and the end results of the proposal in front of me fall in line with our desired outcome for downtown? And there are certainly other questions to ask when considering, but that's the first question I'm going to ask, is does it fall in line with our desired outcome? Another question on the list was, what qualifies me to seek office of city council? Well, I've already touched on my background in education and community involvement, but I will say that one of my strengths is that I get along easily with all types of personalities. You know, you don't have to agree on everything for us to work together and to get something done. And I also like to cut through the noise and get things done. We were also asked, what would you do to participate in filling the vacant city manager position? It is the duty of the city council to seek and hire a qualified professional city manager. And if that position has not been filled, by the time I take office, then I will certainly actively participate in whatever that process is that's been lined out. I do have high hopes that our next city manager will be someone who brings out the very best in our council and our employees and our city volunteers, and who makes decisions with the broader vision of Muskogee in mind, and who also loves this community as much as we do, because I think that's very important. The question about campaign efforts, who's funding me? Well, I'm funding me. If you'd like to give me some money, I'll take it, but I'm not actively seeking campaign donations, but call me. Another question on the list was sent to us, and it asked the question, I'm going to read it because it's kind of specific. What's your intention to keep in touch with constituents, especially when they provide you with materials and information pertinent to the life and welfare of our city? Well, when someone reaches out to ask a question or gives a suggestion or has an idea, I think it's really key to listen and to be accessible. My cell phone number is always available. You can find it in the paper right now next to my face in the real estate section. But that's my personal cell phone. You can call me. I'll have an email address that's just for city issues, and I'll use social media to keep in touch with folks. I understand that I will never be able to please every single person all the time, because that's life. But I will listen, and I will follow up with anybody who reaches out to me. The last question pertains to crime and law enforcement. Moving forward, I think it's critical that we continue to ensure that our officers have adequate training and facilities and equipment like we did in 2014, when the city council approved the body cam purchase. And when I was looking back this week, kind of preparing for this, I was looking at the ward map, and I realized that over the last 16 years, I have lived in every ward in Muskogee. When you're a real estate agent, you buy and sell your house a lot. So I have lived in every ward, and never at any time have I felt unsafe. Now I recognize, let me finish, I've got one little thing. I'm pretty self-aware, and I know that I've had a pretty charmed life. But I think the fact that I feel safe is a testimony to this community. It's a testimony to our citizenry and our law enforcement. To sum up, I just want to say that I'm running for city council because of my sweet daughter right here. I think it's important that she sees that her family and her parents are involved in public service. And I also want Muskogee to be the kind of place that when she grows up, she wants to live here, and she wants to raise her kids here and take care of me when I'm old. So whether you elect me or any of these other esteemed colleagues, I want you to know that I will always work hard to make Muskogee a better place to live. Thank you.